Hey, all, it's Dinosa, and it's another day in paradise between all my schools and everything. But I wanted to do. I'm a little behind on these because events in my life have taken me away from my normal stuff. But I'm here to talk about the real world episodes 3 and 4, and I've consolidated these on the large basis that there's not much to tell. That's the funny thing. We'll start with episode 3, where episode 2 kind of left off, where everyone was kind of still mad, and Ashley Corey was acting like a fool in the streets of San Francisco on that, and trying to be all bad and tough and Brody. Now, I understand a 20-year-old gets that attitude. Where I mentioned also previously that they had tons of cameras, and it's very easy to act bad, Brody, and all that when you've got tons of cameras, tons of security around there. So let's see him do that without it, because I question that on that, because it's this thing. But anyway, I'm getting a little off subject. But Corey basically. I think it's Ariel or Ashley. Ariel tackled him, calmed him down, and then during episode 3, Corey was bragging that him and the blonde girl were like sex buddies or best friends with benefits, and they both can have relationships with whomever they want. And even the Bronklin kid was like, "Man, you don't normally brag that stuff, but." Whatever, and that's what it is. But what did take a sad twist is that the guy from the Bronx mother died. Whereas it's never quite explained what happened. But he got a phone call from someone telling him that mom went to the hospital and died. And nobody really knows. It never was quite explained what. But see, the only thing is with MTV. I really feel that phone call shouldn't have been there. I feel MTV stepped over a line on that one by showing that phone call, because that should have been a personal call. And the way they could have done it, it was just block the whole screen out in white letters that during this conversation he got the call that his mother had passed away. And out of respect to the family, we will not broadcast this call. But they broadcasted it. And he was talking about like how he was only gonna go. He's so tough that he wasn't gonna cry like since live, and he has tough, and he's just hating life. Okay, now during this episode, they're always flashing like when the exes are showing up, when the exes. But I think the biggest thing with episode 3 is Ashley, the crazy West Virginian who lives in San Francisco, threw an edict down or gave the group a choice that they could vote her out if she wanted. And the group voted her out, and they all thought everything was all cool. So they think. So then what happens is they're just happy, they're going out partying here, and then basically that is where episode 3 ends. Other than like a new girlfriends, new boyfriends, it wasn't much. It was just kind of a precursor. Actually, the episode 4 held a lot more information. Episode 4 starts once again with a recap of episode 3 that takes 10 minutes to what's going on. And then what they kind of expand a little here, where it talks about like the exes are getting closer, and they're going to come in this episode. So, what they do is, after the recaps on that, and after everyone, has their thing, it starts off with one of the girls, the blonde girl, sees one of the guys' emails unannounced, because the guy's a moron and leaves it up on the screen. All guys, rule number 1, close your damn emails. Lock the phones. Simple rule. Unless you're serious, lock that stuff up. Had it up, didn't think much about it. And they says, like, there was an email from an ex saying, I can't stop thinking about you. So then the guy, this is Jamie's new boyfriend, the girl, Asian girl that's been causing a lot of the drama with Ashley. So then she gets mad. The blonde who sees this goes over and tells Jamie. Rather than telling the dudes, say, hey, man, you gotta watch that stuff, you know? But she goes tells Jamie, and then Jamie gets mad, and then Jamie confronts him about it. She says, well, what's on there? And the guy actually told the truth. He says, she sent me an email, says, I can't stop thinking about you. And he says, well, you got to tell her it's over. And he's like, I'm not going to say anything. If I respond, it's just going to antagonize the situation, and she's going to write back more. If I do nothing, she'll just let it be. He says, well, no, you got to make it clear that you have a girlfriend. And he said, and he's like, no, I don't have to make that clear to this crazy woman. He says, you're my girlfriend, and that's just it. And he says, you shouldn't worry about stuff like that. He says, well, I have to worry about that stuff. And it kind of goes back and forth, where I kind of see Jamie's point a little bit, that you need to establish yourself. But at the same point, I can see his point, is he doesn't want to deal with it, and he just thinks this is a crazy woman. And he just, you know, just let it go, because with crazy people, on that, if you touch them or you respond, they get crazier and they respond. You say nothing, they usually go away. And I don't know what he did after that, but they got a little snivet, and then they got mad at each other, but then I guess they resolved it. Then later on, they have dinner on that, but they go dinner to like a naked restaurant where there's naked girls and naked guys, I guess, feeding the women. And, you know, it was just like freaky. And what happened is during this dinner, one of the girls, the blonde girl who likes Corey, says, I know he's getting horny, but it's turning me on watching him get horny with the other girls. And it's just like, seriously. And then later on after this is everyone's banging someone. It's Las Vegas all over again. So everyone does that. Everybody has like sex, not like an orgy kind of thing, just individual rooms. So then they get an email announcement that they're all going up to Shasta Lake, which is a fun lake, to go do whatever, drink, water ski, whatever. And it's a ruse really by MTV to get them out of the house. So they all agree, and they all go up for 2 days up to Shasta Lake, and they're excited because all they've seen is San Francisco. It's nice to see something different. So they get up there, and then all the exes start coming into the house. And then the exes start talking to each other, because they all thought they were there to replace Ashley, who was voted out, which Ashley moved her stuff out. But later on it shows Ashley's moving back in, because she's now an ex of roommate. So they're all figuring this out, and then they're like, okay, I see now, we're all the exes. Oh boy. And then they realize, this is going to be a little difficult, because when everybody gets back, it's just going to be drama central. So they all figure this out, and they start waiting, and then they start aligning themselves, realizing they have to make alliances if they're going to survive this. So eventually the original cast, minus Ashley, starts to show up. And they walk in, the blonde girl, who's Corey's kind of friend with benefits, walks in, and the first thing she sees is her ex-boyfriend, and she's like, what the hell are you doing here? And he's like, this is the dude. And then all the other girls who are exes of the dudes all stand up and go, hello, surprise. You know, and everyone's just like, oh boy, this is not good. And that's how the whole episode ends. Now, the episode then goes on to do a few minutes about how like they're all planning, and then it has one little showdown once again with Corey running his mouth saying like, oh, you're scared, and the other guy who is the ex-boyfriend of the blonde's like, you're funny. And You could tell the dude is a little more mature, and then Corey. And Corey's trying to get on his high horse about this. Overall, I remember watching this, and I remember seeing also internet articles saying MTV has sunk to a new low. Because they said they could not believe they aired anything like this ever again. I didn't read the whole article because I didn't need to on this because I know what they're talking about. I know obviously everyone survived in this because if they didn't, if someone got killed, they'd be all over the news. MTV would be sued for $100 million, blah, blah, blah. A volatile work environment. What they're trying to do is create shock television, and I don't know. It's just Jersey Shore. It's like they don't have Jersey Shore. They have like JWoww and all that, but they don't have Jersey Shore. They don't have their big reality kind of show, and so they have to go someone new. And I know that guy Corey's imitating Pauly D from Jersey Shore on that. And they have to do the shock impact. And I'm looking at this going, I remember when they brought back in Jersey Shore, they brought back, what the hell was her name? Elena. No, it was Elena. It was one member they brought back, and she lasted 2 days. And they're like, okay, look, whatever, you're out of here. You know, just leave, you know. And she lasted just a short period of time. But you see, the thing is, now what they're doing is they're taking a whole group of X versus a whole group of guests and putting them in the building. Now I know Real World's rules says what happens when we put 8 strangers that don't know each other and they stop acting and start getting real, the real world. That's the whole concept. Okay, in this case, on that, they had 2 groups, strangers, they're not strangers. They're exes. 2 people know each other. Is that strangers? No. It's their ex-boyfriend. So what they're doing is shock television. I'm saddened they kind of picked San Francisco for this because they should have picked some other city. Because I just think... I just think I'm not justifying their actions, but it's like I would just think like if I was MTV or one of these actors, and I say actors because I wonder how much of this is kind of fake. On that, if I was one of these participants and I found out what was going on, I'd just be like, I'm done. I'll go home, no problem. And they would be like, oh no, you can't go home. I said, yes, I can. It's obvious you're setting us up. It's obvious what's happening. You know, why, you know, and I'm not going to be a part of it. I don't want that to happen. So, but, you know, I'm a lot older now. Back then, I probably would have been dumb 20-year-old. Let's do it, you know. So, I mean, it's sad when they say that's all there is to report over 2 episodes is basically... one person gets voted off. They go to a nude restaurant or have a nude meal. They all have like big individual sex. Then all the exes show up. That's it. I mean, it's just not much. I mean, I don't know. There's not much else to report in this. Now with the exes there, it might get interesting this Wednesday on that, where we can see the real explosions, and then I might have a lot more to report on. Otherwise, there's a severe lack of chemistry in this group because it's like, it's just, I don't know. This group, I'm feeling it. Jersey Shore, yeah, you could totally feel it. Great chemistry. This one, no, nothing. But anyway, this is Dinosa. Y'all are entitled to your own opinions, but that's just mine. Talk to y'all later.